Hello, everybody. This is Friday, the Friday support call. I'm Stephen Carlson, and this will be my call today, whatever that means. And I have to say, this isn't exactly the usual Friday for me. I'm just going to start out by being very honest with everybody that I have been processing the news the last couple of days. Do I even need to say what news I'm talking about? Probably not. Probably not.
Doch, 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 erzähl mal.
Well, so I'm talking, of course, about the American political news, the election. And yeah, I would love to be able to sit here and say to you that everything is okay and that all is well and that, uh, well, to be very honest with you, for me personally, it doesn't feel well. I've spent the last few days talking to friends around the world, connecting with people. Um, and just to give you some perspective, for me, the study of politics and history were very important as a young man. And I lived in Yugoslavia during the time of the dissolution of Yugoslavia due to ethnic hatreds and radical politics. And I lived in Hungary and I watched the flowering of democracy there in the early 90s and took part in that, publishing a newspaper. But I also witnessed the death of democracy and the consequences on the people who lived there, including my family. I have a daughter who lives there. And I came to the United States in 2016 to witness what we have been witnessing here for the last 8 years. So, from that perspective, yes, there are some strong opinions and beliefs. Of course, there are. And like many of us, I was watching the news with a certain optimism. I had the sense that the American public were actually, perhaps just this once, going to choose hope, love, connection, positivity. This is what seemed to be on offer. And from this perspective, as I see it, the public has chosen fear, retribution, hatred. Uh, and this is what seems to be, from my understanding of the world, however limited it might be. And so, with that introduction, how about that for the start of a support call? I would like to just do a very simple process, which might be useful to some of you and certainly has been useful to me as well. And this is from an advanced workbook, from an advanced retreat. So I'm simply going to read it as is, and then we can take calls and see what else happens in this call. So the title of this release, it's actually a script. It's not about what you know. So one of the core tenets of the Sedona Method is that when you want to figure something out, it gets in the way of knowing. It is often true in our experience that as we let go of wanting to know, we tend to uncover intuitive knowingness and clear reason. This is just part of the picture. Knowing itself is another core piece of the illusion of me. We believe that we need to know who or what we are, and that the more we know, the safer we are. I wonder if that's familiar. Yet knowing is also an addiction of the person. The more we appear to know, the more we want to know, and so we end up living in a loop of knowing. These loops of knowing are self reinforcing illusions. that can appear to prevent direct perception of what is actually happening. And so here comes the exercise. What do you believe that you know? And really, it can be anything. It doesn't have to be the election. What is it that you believe that you know to be true? And then, is that welcome? Is that allowed? Is that what is apparently happening? Now check and see, is there any wanting to do anything with or about this? And if so, could this be welcome or allowed? Is this what's apparently happening? And then check for any wanting to do anything with or about this. Oh, excuse me, does it feel personal? Excuse me. Does this feel personal? Is this about you and who you are, your story, your life? And whatever came up, whatever is here, is that welcome? Is that allowed? Is this what's apparently happening? And could any sense of wanting to know, or any sense of, I know this, could this be noticed? And since whatever is here anyway, could this be allowed? Could there be space? Could all of this that came up simply be honored as it is? And finally, could all of this simply be allowed to drop, to fade, to release? And now, is that which is beyond knowing welcomed or allowed? Is that what's apparently happening? Is there rest as that which is beyond knowing? And then check and see, can any knower actually be found right here, right now? So let's just check again. What do you know? Just allow whatever came up to be here. Could you let go of knowing even that? Just could you? And would you? When? And what if there is no knower? Okay. Thank you. I don't know. It looks to me like Lawrence has his hand up first. Let's just go ahead with Lawrence. It's good to see you.
Good to see you, Stephen.
Good.
With with enough releasing, spreading, I'm sure that one day philosophers will become kings and kings will become philosophers.
Why not? Good. Is there something on
Anyway,
your heart today? Yeah.
yes. I don't know. It's there is a certain um, dissatisfaction or restlessness, and it pertains to I really have a lot of time, and I live in a very nice place, and there's really nothing in my life that I would identify as a problem, quote unquote.
Right.
And yet, um, almost paradoxically, this the very fact that these conditions are so favorable actually turns out to be a challenge
Who are
because
you to feel so good anyway? Hmm? Who are you to live such a good life? Is this the sense of it?
that's not it.
No.
It's not a sense of undeserving.
Hmm.
It's just like it's almost like I don't know what to do with all my time. Like I there's this it's kind of just there's not a sense of moving towards anything, or and but on the other hand, I'm also not uh, um, let's say in the state of peace, just resting as awareness or whatever. And so
Right.
it's kind of like I feel kind of like restless, vaguely dissatisfied
Hmm.
some of the time, and it bothers me.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
shall we?
And yeah, let's go.
Yeah. So right now, is there any sense of restless and dissatisfied right here, right
Yes,
now?
there is. Yeah.
And could that just be allowed? Would you give it a seat at the table? Would you give it permission to be like that if that's how it seems to be?
Yes, I can.
And to take it even just one step further, could you even celebrate this as your guest of honor? Because why
Oh,
not?
I
Ignoring
like
it,
the
not
dining
want.
metaphors. Keep them coming.
Well, so
Let's eat. Let's eat. Let's have the last supper. No, no, I'm no, it's good. Okay, the guest of honor. Yes.
right. Well, so usually if a feeling isn't so pleasant, then we want to push it away, ignore it, hide it, deal with it, treat it somehow, right? Make it go
Mm-hmm.
away, even make it release. But what if it's just here? Could you just allow it to be like that? Could you just feel into it? Yeah. And even honor it. That's it. Yeah.
I can. Yeah.
And by the way, does this have an echo in the body? Does this show up as sensation? Hmm?
Of course it does.
Wonderful. Perfect. Then notice that you've given that a name. Could you just
Mm-hmm.
drop the names and allow it to be raw sensation? Could that just be what it truly is? Energy passing through? Does it really need an explanation?
No.
Mhm.
In
Right.
fact, the explanation seems to be the problem.
Could that be? Possibly. So, is that welcome just as it is, just for now?
Yes.
Could that have permission to do just what it needs to do, go wherever it needs to do, just for now? Yeah.
As one should always tell guests, feel right at home.
Right. Well, what if this is wholeness? This is love. This is peace. This is okayness. What if?
I can be open to that possibility.
Right. And then I suppose, could you just invite this to show you what it needs to show, if there's anything to see? What if this is pointing towards your highest truth of some kind? And that's not that you have to reach for a solution or figure something out. It's just to be open to the possibility that this is. And I didn't finish the sentence. So what's here now?
I want to distract.
Oh, the desire to distract. Yes.
Yeah. Like I wanna do something that gives me dopamine or something, or like play a game or whatever.
Sure. Well, could that just be noticed? Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And could that be allowed, accepted, honored, if that's what's here?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And by opening to that, does it actually get stronger or weaker? Just curious to know.
Roughly the same, actually.
And could that be okay if that's what is apparently happening?
Yes.
Yeah. And since we're asking questions, can you find the one who feels that way?
Oh, yeah. No.
And so what if all of this is simply apparently happening to no one?
I resist that idea.
Okay, then. Not a problem. Notice resistance. And could there be an opening to resistance even more?
I shall honor it.
Hmm. And can you find the one who is honoring resistance?
No.
Okay. Yes.
So it's just more and more sensations and thoughts.
More or less. Mm-hmm. Yes. But again, you started by talking about a good life and a lot of time on your hands. Okay. So just let's go holistically back and forth a bit. Can you see this in the most positive light? Just how wonderful this is?
No.
Can you, okay, then can you see it as a horrible thing?
That's absurd, of course.
Well, sure.
Actually, no. I have to say no again. It's a ludicrous idea to see
Okay,
it
then.
as horrible. Yeah.
So it's ludicrous to see it as wonderful or horrible. Good. Is that what you said? Or
But
am I?
seeing it as wonderful seems plausible, but I can't open to it
So
right now.
neither can you can neither see it as wonderful or as horrible.
Right now, yeah.
Does it have to be either?
It actually has to be wonderful on some
This
level.
is it. Yes, 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 yes.
Or it has to at least be declared good or satisfactory.
So
to
here's
the
something interesting.
mind. Yeah,
We're talking, of course, about your time and your life and so forth. And I started talking about election results. But one thing that came up for me was, and this is, I suppose, you know, Alan Watts, perhaps the
of
speaker,
course. Yeah,
the religious,
of
or
course.
excuse me, the spiritual speaker. One
Yeah.
talk of his is called The Game of White Must Win.
Mm.
It's the idea that we tend to look at white and black, you know, the two opposites of the
Mm-hmm.
world, right? And
Mm-hmm.
then we pick a side, right? And say that, you know, freedom and democracy is a good thing and the opposite, whatever it might be, is the bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
And therefore, white must win, black must lose, right? But guess what?
Mm-hmm.
White doesn't always win. And
Mm-hmm.
black isn't necessarily 100% horrible either. There also are nuances and subtleties and so forth.
Oh yes, there
And
sure
you
are.
don't have white without black, and you don't have black without white anyway. And so,
Mm.
you know, and so again, coming back to your life, you know, is your life white or black? Is it terrific or is it
It's neither.
horrible?
No,
Of
it's
course
neither.
not. How could it be?
It's
Yes.
well, it's white on the outside, definitely. Like, but
Uh-huh.
still, there's the feeling
Right.
of some recurring feeling that I label dissatisfaction for no reason. For no apparent reason, no outside reason.
Right.
And
Right.
that makes the white become gray.
Right. And then we could come along with another label and just say this is a first world problem. We've heard this before, no?
Mm-hmm. Oh
Right.
yeah, yeah. It's that's what it is.
Hmm.
So, I suppose the question would be, could I allow it to be gray or let go of it, needing it to be wonderful?
Well, I'll help you with that question. Could you?
I could.
And will you? Are you willing?
It's a stretch, but I am.
And when? Of course, when?
Now,
And so let me ask another question. It's just for fun. You ready?
sure.
We've talked about your life as perfect or imperfect, but what lies between perfect and imperfect?
Just whatever.
Can you open to that?
Stuff. Let's say I would answer the word stuff.
Stuff?
Stuff, yeah. Between perfect and imperfect, there lies stuff. Yeah.
Right. And could you
Oh
open
yeah,
even more?
I can open to that.
Yeah, yeah. Notice that that right there is a doorway as well. And just open as much
Mm-hmm.
as you can to that which lies between the imperfect and the perfect.
That's actually a good doorway right now. Yeah.
Because that's where you find all that is. Yes. Always here, always now, neither perfect nor imperfect. What if all of this is simply love? Or if you prefer that word you used earlier, peace.
It's possible.
And could you open even just a little further to that possibility? Just as best you can.
I can.
Nice. How does that feel, just for now?
Good. Feels like a good station point.
Thank you. Very nice.
Thank
I'm
you.
glad you raised your hand. So then, I see Romy.
Hi, Stephen. How are you?
Hello, Romy.
I
Good to
believe
connect.
Mary was before me, if I'm not mistaken. If it's okay with Mary.
You're
It's
sweet.
okay. Thank you. Yes, I don't know. Today feels like fun, so I would like to work on a goal.
Sure.
And I would like, go without no limitations. Like my goal is to become a millionaire. And
Fine.
yeah, and just maybe for all of us, who more money is never, yeah, it's probably for everybody, but yeah, I don't know, just to play along and
Mhm.
see what happens. Yeah, why not?
First, let me check if you don't mind. Are you talking about a millionaire in dinar?
In euros.
Oh, I see. Just having
Yeah.
fun with you, of course.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, since you mentioned that you're from former Yugoslavia, I live in Slovenia, so it's yeah,
What a surprise I hear it in your voice. So, yeah, good.
yeah.
Nice to see you. Okay. So just allow yourself that feeling you expressed just now, which is, I want to be a millionaire. Just allow that to fill your awareness, whatever comes up in regards to those words. And then check for any hold back, any no, any yes, but, any sense of limitation.
There is no nose, but there is definitely yes, but.
Whatever came up
Yeah,
exactly
yeah,
that feels
yeah,
limiting.
yeah.
Hmm. So could you allow that? Can you welcome that? Can you give that space and permission since it's here anyway?
Yes.
And by the way, what's the opposite of that?
Opposite of the feeling or
Yes,
sensation, you mean?
yes. Whatever comes to mind.
Freedom.
Oh, freedom. Good. Could
Yeah,
you welcome that freedom?
yeah,
Yes. And then could you welcome yes, but?
yeah,
And then the freedom.
yes,
And any sense of limitation. Any yes, but.
yes,
And could you welcome this together, both of those sensations, both of those feelings?
yeah.
Hmm. And now, can you find the border between the two? Can you notice where the yes, but the limitation ends and the freedom begins, and where the freedom ends and the limitation begins? Can you notice any boundaries?
No, like they're dancing together, like they are mixed. Yeah,
Exactly. And so, what if they are the same? What if they are simply love, loving all as itself in this moment? Could you be open to that possibility?
yes.
Okay. Well, so let's just think about that €1,000,000
Mm-hmm.
and what that means, what that brings you. What what would you do with that? What would happen? Use your fantasy, just a moment.
Mm-hmm.
What comes up?
I see it's possible, but There's some sensation on my chest.
Okay, well, let's just focus on that just for a
Mhm.
moment. And notice again, this is simply sensation. Does it need an explanation, a name, or a
Mm.
reason?
No.
Hmm. Could you simply focus the full attention on that sensation in the chest? Honor it, welcome it, allow it.
Yes.
And even more. And even more. And when you're ready, just for fun, this is your left pinky, the small finger. Could you focus your attention on the tiniest finger on your left hand? Turn your
Mhm.
entire focus to that finger. And then, when you're ready, turn the focus back to the chest and what was happening there, those sensations in the body there. And check and see, are they the same? Are they shifting?
Yeah, it's kind of difficult to totally shift to the pinky. Yeah.
But yeah, again, are things the same as when you started, or have they, in fact, shifted at least a little bit?
Yes, it is. Yeah. Yeah.
And this is only an invitation to notice. That's all.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. So whatever is going on in the body, whatever remains, could you just welcome that? Allow
Yeah.
it. Give it space. And let's do another little holistic shift. Could you just feel it to be negative, unwanted, and unwelcome as much as you do?
Yeah.
And then could you open to it as a positive, as a good thing, even if it's stretching your imagination to do that? Is that possible?
Yeah.
Hmm. So let's go back and forth. Could this be negative, unwanted, unwelcome?
Yeah.
And could this be positive? Could this be allowed? Could there be space for this? Could it be okay?
Yes.
And once again, could this be negative? Could this be unwelcome? Could this be undesired?
Yeah.
Could this be welcome? Could this be wonderful? Could this be lovely?
Yeah.
And then, just for fun, can you find the one who feels all of these things?
No.
And could you find the one who desires €1,000,000?
No.
And let's just play with one more little tool, which I like. It's a tool from Larry Crane. It's called squeezing the lemon. You ready?
Mhm. Yeah.
Imagine, do you know who Scrooge McDuck is? Is that cartoon
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
character
Yeah. I know.
familiar
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
you? I think
Yeah. Yeah.
everybody
The
understands who this
cartoon.
is.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
richest duck,
Yeah.
cartoon duck in the world. Can you imagine yourself, Scrooge McDuck, drowning in money,
Yeah.
absolutely choking on it,
Yeah.
far too much? And then, can you imagine, not only do you not have money, you will never receive 1 euro cent more. Not 1 cent. Just open to that.
Yeah.
And then choking in money, drowning in money, oppressed by money, far too much. The weight, the responsibility, the crushing burden of those millions.
Yeah.
And then not 1 cent more ever. Feel that.
Mhm. Yeah.
Last time, crushed in a pile of money, drowning in the responsibility of money, oppressed by wealth. And finally, no more money, not even poor, broke, destitute, not 1 cent more. So, what's here now, Romy?
It's energy is still moving, but I got it's complete. Yeah, it's much lighter. It's much the excitement is present, and more freedom, more peace. It's fun,
Sure.
actually. Thank you.
Nice. It's wonderful to hear that. Okay, good.
Yeah, thank you very
It
much.
seems like a good place to go. So then, I do see Mary has a hand up. Mary, would you like to unmute?
Yes, thank you. I am renting a room in a home, and a couple of years ago there was massive problems, and they finally got resolved. This year there's been some massive issues. They've been resolved, but things have been tense. They're starting to resolve, but I have had, some panic, anxiety issues anyhow. But in terms of asking for help, and it really makes me kind of panicky just even asking for help, because I'm afraid, I'm going to get in trouble. And now this morning, I had a space heater in my room because they don't use heat in the house, and it's starting to get pretty chilly, especially here in Southern California. But so so my space heater all of a sudden stopped working. And I thought, oh gosh, it just got hot enough and it automatically turned off. Well, I think I blew a fuse because I tried some other things in my surge protector and nothing is working. And now I'm afraid to ask for help again. They do know I use one, so it's not like I'm hiding that. But I'm really kind of panicked to ask for help. The man of the house who's usually here isn't here right now, and he's usually the one I go to. But I really need it, especially if I wash my hair and have wet hair. I just can't be in a frigid room all day long. So I'm feeling panic. I'm feeling like I'm gonna get in trouble for asking for help again. I feel like they're not going to respond in a timely manner like has happened before. And I just, so I'm feeling panicked and just would love to release on that, and the release on the feeling like I'm always going to get in trouble, or that whatever. But I'm paying for a room and it's their responsibility. And so I would love just to release on things getting done in a timely manner. Well, that's control, I guess, but I would love to release on just the panic of the fear, feeling like I'm not being taken care of, feeling like it won't be done in a timely manner, and feeling like I really need it because I'm almost the only room in the house too who doesn't get any sun. So
Mhm.
on top of no heat, there's no sun coming in my room. So my bathroom feels like a meat locker. It's pretty frigid cold. So I'd love to release on all that.
Sure. Okay, then. So let's check in first to see if that panic is present. Is that here right now?
Yeah, my heart's pounding and I'm not sure what to do, but I want
Okay.
to get it taken care of in a
Right.
timely manner.
Good, good. So could that panic be allowed? And I know that's a scary thing to do, but could you even open to it and give it permission?
Yeah.
Breathe into it and just notice what's happening in the body. Notice the body's response, which is called panic.
Mm-hmm.
And notice what also might be happening in the mind with racing thoughts and fantasies and stories.
Mm-hmm.
And notice what's happening in the body in terms of maybe the adrenaline, the tension,
Mm-hmm.
constrictions, knots.
Oh my, well, I've had stomach problems for a year too, and I know a lot of it's been related to the stress of everything.
Okay, then. All right, then. Well,
So
so
yeah.
let me ask you as well, what seems to be stronger in the moment, the body's reactions or the mind's reactions?
That's a great question. I would probably say the body reactions.
Okay,
Yeah,
then.
yeah.
Wonderful. All right, then. Well, so what if, just what if, the body's reactions have no explanation, name, story, reason? Could you be open
Okay.
to that? Could you even drop any explanation, story, or reason for what the body is doing, feeling, experiencing?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, then. Yeah, yeah. So just focus entirely on the body and the body's reaction, what it seems to be doing in the moment. And just breathe. And best as you can, just give it permission to be like that, since it's that way anyway.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. And the first thing to check is, does this make it worse? Does this feel slightly better, perhaps? Just notice the difference in that focus.
You mean just allowing it?
Yes, exactly so.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. What does it feel like to allow the body to do what it does, what it seems to be doing?
Yeah. It will. It 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 feels better rather than trying to push it back down because then it tends to feel worse. So yeah.
And I'll give you another hint as well, which is that that answer came slowly,
Okay.
which is also a good sign. So,
Okay.
yes, exactly. So the mind is not so engaged. This is just the body doing what the body does.
Yeah.
And so what? Does it do this forever?
No.
Oh, so just for now, could we allow it to do just what it needs to do? Since anyway it's doing it.
Yeah. True.
Right. And if there's even just a little bit of a courage, let's just check. Could you even welcome that?
Oh.
A little bit. Just a little bit. A little. It could be as, is there any more? It's okay. This kind of welcoming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just feel like I'm doing this every day. So it's just kind of like
Oh
yeah.
well. So I understand that. But
Yeah. Yeah. But
is it,
I can still welcome it because obviously it's energy trying to be released. So
Is it trying or is it just releasing?
Oh, good point. It's releasing.
And what you just said before, is it possible that was also a story? The story of constantly trying to release? Maybe.
Yeah,
Maybe.
yeah.
Yeah. Because in fact, what's happening is just what's happening right here, right now.
Right.
Exactly. And so let's just check. Is that sense of panic stronger now or weaker now? Is it changed or is it the same?
No, it's gone down. It's released.
Oh, I see. Hang on. We've got to try and find it again, don't we? Right?
I'd rather not, but
Oh, okay. That's fine too. Just checking.
but if there's more that needs to come up, I'm open to that too.
Did you just say that?
Well, what I have found with working with you guys, that the more open, we are to things, that usually the quicker it goes, or the better we feel. Yeah. So why not?
Excuse me. Is this Courage speaking? Hello? I think maybe.
I
Is
think
that
maybe
possible?
yeah,
Oh, could Courage be welcome then?
for
Even more.
for sure. Yeah.
Notice how that feels, huh?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Feels good.
Yeah. Yeah. But just for fun, let's just check. What about that story of a cold house and things that don't get fixed?
Yeah.
Think about what happens next. Whoever comes home, or whoever is in the next room, or whoever gets called over, or the conversation, you understand.
Yeah.
Hmm. And the heater that doesn't seem to be heating.
Mm-hmm.
And just what seems to be coming up with these kinds of thoughts. Just check.
That I'm going to be really, really cold. That it's going to be really, really uncomfortable in my room, or they'll get mad at me, even though they're even though this has happened before in the house. Their daughter was staying in the guest room and just plugged a hair dryer in and blew a circuit. So it's not my fault, and I keep trying to tell myself, I'm just afraid I'm going to get in trouble. They're going to be mad. They're whatever, and yet this just happened a couple months ago, that even just a hair dryer. So the yeah, so it's
Okay,
not
I'm
my
going to
fault.
interrupt you right now. It's
Okay.
your fault. How's that feel?
Not good.
Oh, can that be noticed? Can there be an opening for that? The not goodness. Yes. It's your fault. Finger wagging.
Yeah.
So just notice the reaction that comes up. Notice thoughts and sensations, stories, beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any voice inside that says, he's right, damn it? It is my fault. It's your fault.
You know what? I would think so, except for this just happened like I said, about 2 months ago and I was here and I heard the commotion, and I actually lost some power in my room because of her using a hair dryer in the next room connecting. So I know it's not my fault. I, you know,
Okay, so that's the mind stepping in to help. Nice. That's great.
although nobody else uses space heaters in the house, they just wear parkas and Ugg boots, and um, but they also are in warmer rooms where there is sunshine, and I don't get any. So it is definitely colder, a lot colder in my room and bathroom.
Yes. So, again, that feeling, it's my fault. I can't speak up. They will criticize me. I am in the wrong.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
So, on a scale of 1 to 10, how powerfully does that come up for you? 10, of course, being the most powerful.
Yeah. I'd say it's about an 8.5.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Can you even believe 9?
Sure, why not?
Thank you.
Because well, the one thing that goes through my head is I'm more cool natured, so that they actually don't usually run the AC either, and I never complain when it's 85 or whatever. I can handle the heat, but when it comes to cold, there is a limit. There's a limit that becomes really miserable for me.
And you're wrong to feel that way.
I feel, yeah, I feel wrong to feel that way. I do.
Oh, okay. So could that just be noticed if that's what's here?
Yeah.
Allow it to just be and feel it. Allow it to feel true if that's how it seems to feel.
Mm-hmm.
hmm And does that show up in the body? Or is that mainly in thoughts?
I Hard to tell. I feel like it's kind of almost half and half. Although my stomach feels like it's getting a little bit worse. My heart pounding has gone down a little bit, but in my head, yeah, I feel like I'm gonna, yeah, still kind of get in trouble or blamed, or yeah, that I'm wrong somehow.
Well, so in that case, is it possible that you are punishing yourself in order to avoid the big punishment? Do you understand the
What
question?
what's I don't know. I don't know what the big punishment would be.
Oh, okay. So I'm in the wrong and I'm going to be punished, so I'm just going to make myself suffer first.
Oh, interesting.
hmm Because that way it takes the edge off of my punishment, so to speak.
Hmm.
I punish myself in advance because it's going to happen anyway.
Interesting.
Now, it's just a possibility that you can play with. It's something that seems to come up. So just notice again this feeling of guilt.
Mm-hmm.
hmm And notice how much you'd like it to be different.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And check and see if maybe, just maybe, it might feel personal.
Definitely.
hmm There you go. And since that's the way it seems to feel, could that be allowed? Could that be welcomed? Is that what's apparently happening?
That I feel guilty.
Yes.
Yeah.
hmm
Yeah.
But check also, can you find the person who feels that way? Can you find that sense of the individual? Yes or no is okay. Either way, doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's a tricky question for me. I'm not sure I quite understand. I kind of do. I'm still getting used to this being awareness rather than being the person, if that's where you're going with this. But if there's another way to reframe the question, that might be helpful.
Sure. Well, so it's the difference between, are you those feelings, are you those thoughts, or are you aware of those thoughts? Are those thoughts simply passing through your notice? Are those feelings simply rising in your awareness?
Yeah. 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 Well, and I'm also having flashbacks to my father who wouldn't let us use the thermostat. And he had total
Right.
control. And all of us froze, my siblings included, you know, and then in college we had one roommate, even though I was willing to pay for the heater, who wouldn't allow us to you know, and that was in the Midwest, which I mean, we're talking frigid weather, and yeah, we had to wear mittens in the house, and it just so I think, and some of my siblings wore stocking like hats like yours to bed at night just to keep themselves warm. So this seems to be a recurring, ongoing issue for me. So yeah,
So, did I just hear you say this isn't even about here and now? It's about things that happened in the past. Hmm.
yeah.
Hmm. How about that?
The story of my life.
There
Which
you go.
I'm trying not to tell stories, but it seems the same one seems to keep coming up.
So we often talk about stories with the Sedona method.
Right.
Stories are useful. You can't go through life without stories. In fact, it can be a very useful skill to tell a story well.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing wrong with stories. You can tell me all the stories that you want. I never forbid this. It's okay. Um, the catch is that we find ourselves believing them.
Yeah.
Hmm. But
Yeah.
the good news is that the noticing of the story, seeing it as a story, is the beginning of the unraveling of it. Once you see it as a story, how can it possibly be true? A story is always constructed, it's always artificial. No?
Okay.
Isn't it?
Well, but if those things actually happened,
Yes, but also many other things happened as well.
true,
Many other things
true,
happened as well.
true.
It's like there's an old Cheech and Chong routine. What did you do for your summer vacation? Well, I got up, I walked down to the corner, and I hung out with my friends. This is not an interesting story. It's like you actually, right? You didn't do, no, you choose very selectively the memories that will point towards a conclusion, that will draw out a lesson, but you ignore all the many other things that happened. You're not going to include how many times you went to bed and woke up, right?
Right, true.
You know, it, it's not necessary for the story. It isn't. And so the story is always artificial. It may have a point, certainly. You may be trying to draw a lesson or even just make somebody laugh. And this is perfectly okay. But the danger of stories, or the stickiness of them, is when we believe them to be 100% true. And you hear this in the language, I always, or even better yet, you always.
Right.
This is such a clue. You can hear the story. Of course,
Right,
it's always. Your
right,
father didn't
right,
always turn down the temperature. You didn't always freeze. It happened quite a lot. I'm not saying it didn't. But
right.
yeah. So yeah. Seeing a story as a story helps to loosen it. That's the point.
Okay.
So,
That helps, yeah.
sure. So now that you see that this is a story of being cold in the winter, it doesn't change the fact that you still might be cold.
Right.
But the good news is, this isn't about your father who's going to punish you, is it?
No.
No. But then it's also tempting when you see us when you're caught up in the story and there is a punisher. It's very easy for that to just happen as you remember it. You get what I'm saying, I suppose.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So yes. Let me just check and ask you, what's here right now when you think about being cold and think about calling for help, asking somebody for assistance, whatever it is. Just notice the feelings that come up and notice the thoughts that come up now.
much calmer. You
Okay.
know what? Yeah, I will survive the cold, and I'm feeling more confident about calling for help and getting the problem solved.
Okay. So we started with panic,
Mm-hmm.
and we're moving towards confidence.
Mm-hmm.
And what's in between panic and confidence?
I'm not sure.
Excellent answer.
Okay.
Well,
It just is what it is.
exactly.
Yeah.
What's between the confidence and the panic?
Yeah.
And by the way, notice the quiet. Notice the absence of thoughts or reactions to that.
Mm-hmm. True. True.
So
Yeah.
again, notice what lies between the panic and the confidence, and just open to that just as best you can.
Mm-hmm.
And even more.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like I can breathe again. Yeah. Okay.
Yes. And even
Yeah.
more.
Yeah.
And by the way, is there anything to solve in this moment?
No.
Hmm. Okay. Yeah. I guess, does that feel complete? How does that work for you, Mary?
I think it does feel complete. Thank you so much. I appreciate your help.
Wonderful. Good. Well then, I'm just going to put Mary's hand down. Thank you, everybody, for coming. I don't know if we solved all of the problems of the world just now, but maybe those problems are not exactly what we thought they are anyway. Yeah, I guess that's it. So if you'd like to unmute and say goodbye, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. I have to say that for me, this also shifted things, and I am grateful to all of you for taking part.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Stephen.
Stephen.
Thank you
was
so
nice.
much.
Thank you all.
Have a wonderful weekend. Bye.
Great.
Yeah.
Yes. Bye,
Bye-bye.
everyone.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.